Okay, so you were saying you read three of the books, you said?
I read three of your books in a month, and I really like them.
Oh, great. Which ones did you read?
I read the Effortless Awareness, no, Effortless Being,
Oh, okay.
the main one,
Yeah.
and the Effortless Abundance, and then the Mirror is the Medicine.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So how did you hear about me?
I think I saw you from one of the YouTube interviews. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, so I find you.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to have you. So tell me your story. Have you been seeking, or what is your seeking story? Have you been looking for something? What is it that
I don't, yeah, I think it's quite similar to you because I read The Secret and then The Greatest Secret, and then I had a call with David Bingham,
Mhm.
and yeah, I could feel some shifts in the energy. I don't know why.
Mhm.
And then that was 3 years ago, and then I could say I was keep seeking, but then I can say that I can access peace when I'm alone. When I'm not working. But during work time, it's quite hard to uh, and to re-remember the effortlessnesses.
Yeah. Seems like the when we look, just like right here in this moment, like there really is nothing to fix. There's really nothing to do because effortless being is just our natural state. It's just what's always here. It's just that the mind comes in and and makes comments about what this is or whatever's happening in the life experience. And so what I noticed too, like when I had um, listened to The Secret, it was talking all about manifesting, creating your reality through your thoughts and your feelings. And then they had come out with The Greatest Secret, just like you were saying, that Rhonda Byrne had come out with, who was the author of those books. And then she had was interviewing all like non-duality teachers or spiritual teachers, in there. And then David Bingham was in there. And then, of course, that's how I had heard about David Bingham. And then he said that you're the infinite being having a human experience. Up to that time, I just had thought I was this separate person called Rob. And so when he said infinite being, there was like a remembering of, oh, what this is. This is this effortless being, this beingness, this impersonal beingness that's always been here. And overlaid on top of that, you know, is this person, Rob, having this human experience out here. The whole time I was just identified with this so-called, separate person that was out there. And I saw through it. I'm like, wait, I've always been remaining as the pristine, infinite being that's whole and complete. And so that there was that realization that I had had. And so that's how it kind of went for me. Was it something similar like that for you?
I'd say I had an awakening like you, but uh, now I can admit that the happiness is within, not outside the world.
Yeah, so your happiness, everything is actually happening within you because whenever you're feeling, whenever the thoughts, the emotions, all of that is happening within you. It's not outside of you. Everything is within you as consciousness. It's almost like you're this expansive consciousness or this beingness. And for me, when I had first, realized that, he was just always I could like you, I could just be in peace, like right here when there was no distractions and or anything like that. There was just effortless being. And I could remember just, I don't know, for months just sitting in my backyard and just, looking at the trees and, just being in bliss and, just marinating in the beingness, just there. And even when people would talk, like the word, I would think about the space. I would identify with the space and the silence that would be between the words, and I would be marinating in that, and everything was, I really didn't need to do anything or
Mhm.
or anything like that. But then there was still the everyday life, like you're talking, like going to work and stuff like that. So how do you, I would say integration. Have you ever heard that word integration or integrate?
Yeah. I'm trying uh the method of asking myself who is suffering.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, just trying out that, and what bugs me is that the infinite being. I think it was Lester Levinson saying, "Does infinite being have to work for a living?" I was like, "Of course not." But I'm
Right.
still working, and
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, I can definitely access peace when I'm not working, but let's say I can't, manifest or anything like that with that beingness. So yeah, that's that's bugging me for a while. Yeah.
That you want to be able to, you just want to be able to just to not work or and to be able to
S-
manifest, abundance
Say,
coming into your life without working or doing the nine. Are you doing like a 9 to 5 job now? What is it that
yeah,
you're doing?
96.
Nine
Yeah.
to six. What kind of work do you
Yeah.
do?
Work in finance, investments.
Okay.
But yeah, it's yeah, I don't like the work, but yeah. I, I would love to be able to, spend my time just freely, just having the
Mhm.
freedom of being able to, yeah, call the shots.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I remember when I first had realization, I had a 9 to 5 job too. I was in corporate America and I did that for a little while. And then other opportunities and synchronicities, just came along. Then I started talking about this to other people. And then I created a YouTube channel, and then I started interviewing people and talking to people, about self-realization and things like that. And then from there, I was able to write books and stuff like that. So then, money started coming in from that, and then interviews, and then building the channel and becoming like a coach. So that was the path that was for me that took away the 9 to 5 job that I really didn't need anymore. It just kind of just happened, like it just lined up like with ease. So what I would say to you, whatever situation you're in, what are you passionate about? Like what is the infinite being, what is the infinite being drawing from you? What is easy? Like what becomes easy for you, or when you're thinking about it, it excites you or it brings you joy. And kind of just follow those leadings, and you don't need to figure it all out here on this call, but I'm just saying, as you go through life each day, say to yourself, what excites me, what's easy for me to do. If it feels like it's hard and stressful, that's not really coming from infinite being, from your true nature.
Mm.
But if there's like this calmness to it, this ease, because that's really the infinite being, is really there's an intelligence going on behind the scenes orchestrating everything and organizing it. So in this field of beingness, that you're in, it just kind of it's all just doing it kind of like automatically. So there's nothing you need to really, sort of speak, like do. Of course, you take action, but the action is different. It's more of um, an inspired action, like a feeling of ease or joy when you're doing it, of lightness. But if you're trying to, like, make it work and stuff like that, that's not the way. You just want to just relax into it, feel into it, and then let it become more natural as you're taking inspired action. Because sometimes what we do is we like you said, you don't want that 9 to 5, or you're trying to manifest and you're trying to, create it, and you're the one trying to do it. And there's really no separate you trying to do it. It's infinite intelligence, or the infinite being is the one that's doing it naturally. So it's just getting in alignment with that, or I should say, like, allowing that to flow through you and orchestrate your everyday life in the human experience. Is that helpful to you at all, hearing that?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah. Mm, mm,
There's one that wants to, and it's good for you to look at, the one that wants to not do the 9 to 5 anymore. When you look at that particular one, when you look right here, right now, in this direct experience, the one that wants to change, or the one that wants to manifest, or change what this is, when
mm,
you look, can you find that one? Just like in your direct experience right here, right now, like if you look around, where is that one that wants to do that?
It's just thoughts.
Hmm. And so are you the thoughts? Or are you the one that's noticing the thoughts?
beyond the awareness.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's good to know that, like, that mentally, but like in your direct experience, just that's why I was directing you that way. Because when you see it in your direct experience, that's when things shift. That's when things change. Sometimes we can have an intellectual understanding of what this is, but if we don't see it in our direct experience, you know, that's what makes the shift. That's what makes the difference, the realization. And sometimes when the thought person, the illusion of this separate person hears that there's really no separate person here to hear it. It's
Mm.
just that if we're identifying with it, then it feels like it's hard. It feels like it's a struggle. It feels like that's the one that needs to manifest it. But there's something behind all of this that's already whole, that's already complete, that doesn't need to manifest anything because it's the space of beingness that's already whole, and everything else, the character, the human experience is happening within this space that comes and goes, and you're always like the unchanging open space of beingness. And that character's just running around, going to the work, going to the job, thinking about this or that. But when you know that, when there's a clear seeing of that, it's okay for that to be there, and that kind of just does its thing. But you're always, it doesn't matter what's happening in this space of beingness because you're holding this space, this field of beingness, because you are the field of beingness, you are the space. And so you're okay. So there's almost like, it's almost like you're neutral to it. Like, and you could put meaning onto whatever's appearing, in the manifestation. So whatever's happening at any moment, you get to decide, what it means, what the meaning is.
Mm. Mm. Well, can I interpret that all the working environment as the wake-up call?
If
That
you
I'm
want,
believing. Yeah, yeah, okay.
you
Okay.
as the creator, you get to decide, what the meaning of
Mm.
that is.
Okay.
Sometimes the mind wants like, it wants like a plan, like a detailed plan. Like, I need to do, like, I have this to-do list I got to do. Like, to replace my 9 to 5, I got to have this other job
Yeah.
lined up before I leave this one. But the mind likes to do that. But the whole time there's an infinite intelligence working behind the scenes doing it all. So you don't really need to know the how, you know.
Mm.
You just feel into what feels good, what feels easy, what feels light. And then there's just a recognition of, oh, that's just, the mind doing its thing. That's just thoughts. They really don't apply to what you are, the infinite being, because you're already whole and complete. And when there's a realization of that, the human experience orchestrates and kind of takes care of itself, and then you're just kind of there noticing it, and then it becomes really fun because as you can be intentional, with the human experience. And the way that you do that is because everything's working on frequencies and vibrations. So when you're holding the vibration of appreciating, every moment and being in joy, being in love, when you're in that state of beingness, then the field of beingness kind of orchestrates itself and does it and brings about, what it is that you want, with ease and effortlessness. But it's a matter of just tuning to that and allowing that and feeling good in each moment. Because that's really what's telling you whether you're in alignment or not. It's like if you're feeling good, you're in alignment and you're gonna have everything that you really want. You'll feel whole and complete. You'll feel like your true nature as to what you are. It's just that right now, the mind's coming in and telling you, you need to change this, or you need to do that, and that's what's causing the friction or the suffering or whatever it is that you want to call it. Would you call it suffering, or what would you just call it? Just it's just questioning.
Yeah, I would call it suffering because yeah, when I'm at work, I'm definitely suffering.
Must be a stressful job, yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you were to, when you're going to work, when you're going to work and you're seeing, you're walking in the building or whatever it is that you're at, and the environment and the people are there, and then you start feeling those feelings and emotions coming up, maybe the stress or the suffering or whatever it is that's coming. When you're feeling that in this space, when you're feeling that in that space, can you rest as the open space of beingness and watch the character interacting? Is there some space that opens up that you can see the character interacting with the workmates and
Mm,
doing its job? Or is it more, you're in there with the character interacting
mm,
and you lose the awareness, the spaciousness that you are in the background?
mm. Maybe now yeah, I'm more attached to this character when I'm at work at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're attached to that character
Mm,
at work, can you rest back
mm,
and be the observer of it? Well, there's really no
mm,
observer. It's just, can you be the space for it and just let it be there without resistance? Because what happens is if you resist whatever's coming up, whether that's you being at work in a stressful situation, if you resist it, then it's holding it there in place. It's not releasing, If you can just be okay with it and witness it, notice it, being okay with it, being at peace with what that is, being in your center as the space of beingness and watching and observing it, being okay with it. And you can see it that way. Then what it does is it kind of dissipates, and then something else can come in to replace
mm,
that.
mm, mm,
So I would say, well, you're probably going to remember this call, and when you're at work, you're going to think about resting back.
mm.
That's if you find yourself in that situation. I don't know what's going to manifest for you after this call. Anything can happen. There's infinite possibilities. If there's a seeing or the field wants, something to change for you, it will happen with ease. It'll happen with effortlessness. Synchronicities will line up, opportunities will come to you. You just have to feel into it and see, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. So maybe let's talk about some of that because that can really shift the vibration, shift the field. So tell me some things about that. What excites you?
God,
Go ahead.
I never really thought about that.
Right. This is what's going to shift it
Um,
for you, though.
mm, makes me happy.
Yeah. What makes you happy? Like, what things like would you do for free? What do you do at your free time? What things, bring you joy?
I don't know. I just usually hang out with my girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah. Girlfriend definitely
Really.
helps. Yeah.
Mm.
That's a good one. Spending time with your girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so outside of work, there's so much things to appreciate. Yeah.
Tell me what those things are. So you wake up in the morning, pretend it's like a day you don't have to go to work. What does your day look
Mm.
like? Talk to me about that because that's going to shift the energy.
Sometimes I just do the self-inquiry. I ask myself, what am I?
Yeah.
And I don't have the answer for that, but it feels really peaceful.
Did you know that when you ask that question, there's really not supposed to be an answer to that? It's just
Mm,
there's
mm,
there's not like a logical answer. It's just for you. It's just pointing you in your direct experience to see it, and then once you see it, it's a nonverbal answer. It's just what this is, and that's why there's no answer, and that's why you're feeling the peace because you're recognizing your true nature. So you've recognized what you truly are. So you're self-realized. You do realize that, right? Just by you
mm.
telling me that, I know that you're self-realized. Did
Okay.
David tell you that?
Yeah, he did, but I didn't really believe that. So
You don't believe
that
it?
was, yeah,
Now
that was two
that
years
that
ago.
that which is telling you that you don't believe it. What is that? Who is that? Is that real? Is it just thought? Are you identified with that thought that's saying it's not real? Or can you be the one that's noticing it?
Yeah, it's just thoughts and it
So
has
you
no
see that
reality.
now. You like as we're talking, you can see it. But when it comes up, even after this call, when you see those thoughts coming up, can you just sit there and pause and say, that's just a thought?
Mhm.
Can you see that? That might be helpful to you. Because that was helpful for me, like when I would see when thoughts would come up, even after David, because I had emailed David after that and told him, oh yeah, you're the infinite being, I am too. I recognize that, I see that. And then we had talked and he said, oh yeah, you're self-realized. Similar to you. And then the thought would come and be like, wait a second. I don't know if I believe that, because then you'd have these doubts and thoughts, or maybe you had these expectations of, what self-realization would be. Like, oh, I would just be in bliss all day, I'd be happy, there would be no problems. What was your vision of what self-realization is?
Do you know the Robert Adams
Yeah,
by any
of course.
chance?
Yeah, I listen to all the same
Yeah,
people you do. I listen to
yeah.
all everything you're saying is like it's like a mirror, like a reflection. I'm like, I went through that same exact journey that you went through.
Uh,
So I know where you're
yeah.
at.
So yeah, I read his book and he has his awakening story and
Mhm.
yeah, Lester Levinson has his own awakening stories and
Yeah, I love Lester Levinson. I read all his books and everything. Trust me, healing himself and yeah. Go ahead. Well, actually, what I should ask you, what started you on the way to seeking anyway? Why, what started you questioning life? Did something happen in your life? Usually when I talk to people, it's, something happened or something that to make them want to go seek. I know for me it was, you probably heard my story, what triggered me was a sickness, but what was it for you?
Mm. Uh, to be honest, I really don't know because at the age of 15, I was very unhappy for some reason, and I didn't even know why. And I wanted to end that. So I had this attachment to this awakening.
Hmm.
And Korea is it's more conditioned. There's Buddhist conditioning about meditating for
Hmm.
decades in order to get the awakening. And yeah, so I subscribed to that. And then I read Secret during the army,
Yeah.
and then the greatest secret happened. And yeah, that's pretty much my story.
Yeah, that's a big reason why people start
Mm.
seeking is because, they want to be happy. So when you had this self-realization, when you realized your true nature, even when David said to you, hey, well, you're self-realized, already. You're already the pristine infinite being. Then something happens. The thoughts come. And what do the thoughts say to you?
Well, the biggest invitation was I was at my fourth year in my uni and I was struggling to get a new job. And that was a really big invitation. And after I got the job, I got unhappy after a year or so. So yeah, that's what
Is there a belief that you're holding that the only way money can come to you is through a job? Have you ever
yeah,
explored, have you
it
ever thought
is. Yeah.
about, are there other ways that money can come to you? Because sometimes the conditioning that we have, and maybe in your culture or where you live or your upbringing, because I know it was, in the United States, it's that way too. Like some people think like the only way that you can get a job is, you can get money is through a job, but are there other ways? Have you ever thought about that?
No, not really. Apart from investments,
Mhm.
jobs, no, not really. Never
Yeah,
really
I mean,
thought about
sometimes there's people who just do a couple of investments and then they're getting money off the investments, you know, or maybe they're in real estate. I mean, there's like endless ways that money can come to you. But if you believe that there's only a structured way that it can come, like it has to come through hard work, or I have to do a 9 to 5, or I have to do something that I don't like, basically you're holding that in the field, and that's why you're having, that life experience. But if you can, open up that you're the infinite being and there are infinite possibilities out there, that I'm not limiting myself to this. Like every moment, I'm open to whatever wants to come, because the way I have it now, I couldn't have designed like sitting where you are now. There's no way I could have thought through all of that. I was just doing what each step was like, whatever. I was just following my joy, expressing it, and then just keeping myself open and dropping any limited beliefs that would come that would say, oh, I have to go to work and do something that I hate. You know,
Mm.
I would drop that thought and be like, well, what other opportunities are available? What else is coming my way? And then I just make peace at, wherever I was, whatever situation I was in, just make peace with it and be okay with it and, view it as neutrality, in that state of neutrality. And then always keeping myself open to other opportunities, and whatever the mind would come with a limited thought. You're not self-realized, or you have to go to this job that you hate, any of those things. I would see through it and be like, oh, well, I'm already whole and complete. I'm the infinite being. And I know that there's an infinite intelligence taking care of everything behind the scenes. And everything is, as long as I remain in that state, of what I am, being true to what I am as the infinite being, like living life with ease, living life with self-respect, living life, in an effortless way, in a way of peace. And when I do that, there's like a trust here that everything else will be taken care of. It's almost like you get that conviction comes up, like that strong conviction comes from within. And when you have that strong conviction, that strong knowing, that's when things shift.
Mm.
So that's what I want for you. I want to transmit that to you, is having that conviction and that self-respect that you are the infinite being and you can be, do, and have anything you want. And by following your bliss, following your ease, following your joy, staying as effortless being, and then feeling for inspired action that comes up when you feel that inspiration come, and then you act on that. And then just being okay, with what is. But tell me
Mm.
more about your expectation of what self-realization would be once you realized your true nature. What were you expecting to happen?
Now I was expecting, you know, just blissed out all the time, having just being free and just having what I want, not having what I don't want, and yeah, things like that.
Yeah, I mean that was my expectation too, because that's kind of like when I got into manifesting, I wanted that too. I just wanted to be happy all the time. I didn't want any contrast. I just wanted to just live in bliss. And I have to say, when I first realized my true nature, like, for those first months or two, like I said, I was just in bliss. I was just marinating in the beingness, sitting in the backyard, looking at the nature, being at one, feeling of oneness, unity consciousness, with everything. And then there was just like, then when there was just like my wife, like, well, you have to go to work now. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'd be at work, and then there would be like this light. I wouldn't take anything seriously. There would just be like this lightness at work. And I would watch them all like stressed out, doing doing their things and
Mm.
everything. And I would just be the space for them. And then I don't know, I just was at peace with it. And I just rested. Because there's always like the silence here. There's always the field of beingness, and so whatever's happening, it's almost like I wasn't paying attention to, what the people were talking about or what they were doing. It was almost like I could see Rob like doing his job, is doing my PowerPoint presentation, leading the group. I could see him doing that, but I was in this space where of peace and of non-doing anything. Just like it felt like effortless ease, like that was just doing it, but I was just resting here as that was as that was happening, as the human experience was going. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of like how I experienced it and saw it. And so the expectation of everything's, you're going to be blissed out and all of that, that's just the mind coming and saying that that's the way it's supposed to be. I talk to many people that are self-realized. They're not sitting there like, self-bliss, that bliss every day doing that. They're still, some of them go to work, some of them have their own businesses, in the work world. So, but they're just, I would say they're a lot lighter. Some of them they might like scale back their work. Some of them have changed their work. Um, Other opportunities has presented themselves, and the way that they've gotten to those opportunities is, which I was trying to do with you here, is to shift more to thinking about, what comes easy to you, what feels joyful. And so I want you to really like sit with that. Like what's with like in each moment, like What feels joyful? What feels easy? What do I feel like doing today? Like structuring each day, you know, that's in alignment with your true nature. That would feel easy. That would feel light. Not worrying about the how of like, well, how's this bill going to get paid or how's this money going to come in? Because that kind of blocks it. But if you remain in the state of, I am the effortless being, I am the infinite being, I can be, do, and have anything I want, like having that state of being and that I am abundant already and having that feeling that of abundance, then watch how it just things shift, things change, and things come into it, things become easier when you have that conviction from within. And that's what I want for you. And when the mind comes in and say, this is the way I can't be self, because what's going to happen is if you think that self-realization is you have to be blissed out all the time, you're going to keep seeking. You're going to keep
Mm.
seeking for it. But what you can have, the good news is that with self-realization, there is always this peace in the background. That's always going to be there for you, this beingness. And you've seen this beingness and you know this beingness. Tell me more about the beingness. Tell me about more what you are.
Uh, I don't know. I feel a very, very profound peace on the heart area.
Okay.
Apart from that, yeah, don't have anything to comment on.
Yeah. So when you're sitting in, there's nothing to fix, nothing to really express. When you're sitting in this silence, this beingness, this feeling of peace in here, this consciousness, this awareness, whatever, these are all names that I'm pointing to so you can see it in your direct experience. This consciousness, this peace, can it get sick?
Mm, no,
Does it have any worries?
absolutely not.
Is it worried about a job?
No, it's all allowing.
Mhm. Is it is it worried about how it's going to get money?
No.
What is this space? What is this peace, that this consciousness? What is it? How is it able to not worry about anything? The mind asks that question. But there's something that's even aware of the question that's always here. It's impersonal. It's this beingness. And this beingness doesn't need anything. It's already whole. It's complete. You even confirmed it right now on the call. You saw it in your direct experience. That's what you truly are. But
Mm.
yet, you know, you'll say to me, what do I do about this job or, this money, or do I have to put up with that? You'll say that, but that's not the real you. The real you is the space, the consciousness that's already whole and complete. It doesn't need any of that. Yes, the human experience still happens, and that's okay. But when you're coming from the place of knowing what you truly are, the beingness, the consciousness, which you just confirmed to me, doesn't need a job, doesn't worry about money. What you find that happens is when you know that and you do, everything else shifts. It's almost like the character goes out and if it does a job, it does a job. But you're just there watching it in peace. If it has a business, it has a business. If money comes from an inheritance or whatever thousand different ways that it can come. It can come, but you're not blocking it. You're knowing what you truly are and you're letting infinite intelligence take care of everything for you. So there's no need to do something that you really don't want to do because you are the sovereign being. If something's stressful and fearful, you don't have to do it. You're the infinite being. You can be, do, and have anything, and you have self-respect. So you know what you are, and And there's a trust in knowing that everything works out as long as I follow and stay in alignment with what I truly am. And so it's from that state of being, it's from that conviction, from that field, from that consciousness. That's what you hold. That's what you're giving your attention to. And you're marinating in this peace and this silence. You can just be right here in this peace, like we are right now, like this. You can just you feel it like coming up, like this peace, this beingness, the silence between the words.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
It's complete, it's whole, and you are that. I mean, it's like we're resting, just like we were resting right here. All was well, all was peaceful, all was whole, all was complete. There was no problems. You were resting as your true nature, as beingness. It took effort for you to take yourself away from what you truly are. Anytime you're putting forth effort, you're taking yourself away from what you truly are, because there's always this beingness that's always here. It's permanent. It doesn't change. It's always here in the background. You can rest as what you are, or you can separate yourself from it and play in the world of duality. But just know that that takes energy to do that. It takes effort. It's an energy game you're playing. And it's talking to consciousness. It's not talking to the separate person. That's what those words are for. Letting go of that and knowing that you're this space of beingness that's already a peace that you just experienced here on the call in that silence where you were in that state. There's a recognition of that's what you truly are, that it's already whole, it's already complete, it's effortless, it's ease, it's peaceful, it's your natural state. It's just that the mind comes in and takes you out of it and puts you in these thought loops and these beliefs. And then those life experiences happen from there. They're, like you said, invitations to leave your default place of peace, of beingness. You leave it sometimes. It's okay to play in the world of duality, but play in a way that's in alignment with your true nature. I'll play in a way that comes with ease, that comes with joy, that comes with love, that comes with inspiration. Feel that inspired action, then act. Line up the energy first, come from this peaceful beingness, and then act from there. Then take action from there. But if the energy isn't aligned with your true nature, Just rest in this silence, in this beingness. All is well. Let everything else go. Watch how life takes care of life. Watch how consciousness takes care of consciousness. When that separate person, that separate idea of what you are lets go, and you as consciousness and self sees through it. Once it's seen, it's let go, it's dropped, and you're right back here resting as the beingness. And watch how life just takes care of life effortlessly with ease. You've been efforting this whole time, identify with these separate character, with these thoughts, and you've been putting forth a lot of effort, and that's where the feelings of suffering are coming. That's just waking you up to know that that's not the way. That's not what you are. What you are is always what's resting here. Like when you had the silence on the call, where you were, that's your true nature. And it can be that way the whole time, even when the character's out doing its thing without resistance. There's an all allowing. And then things shift from there. Watch how it aligns. All is well, man. You're good. You're in a good place. Things will shift for you because you know what you truly are. It'll all happen effortlessly with ease. Nothing you need to do. If there's something that needs to be done, it'll be done. You'll be inspired to act. You can't help but do it. You'll find yourself doing it. It's almost like when we're breathing, like I can't control my next breath. The breath is just happening. Consciousness is beating my heart. It's my breath is coming and going. It's all being done with ease and effortlessness, with infinite intelligence, with infinite love. What can stand in this space? What can the mind say? You are what you are. Nothing you can say can change it unless you want to believe it and go on that ride. But as soon as the ride's over, you'll right back here again anyway. You can play if you want. There's no judgment, but know that it's your choice. You're empowered. You've seen this. You know what this is. You can rest here, or you can go play and take different invitations if you want.
Yeah, that was really helpful.
I didn't do anything. It's all you. I'm just the mirror, and you're bringing it out. I'm just the mirror for it. It's nothing I'm doing. It's consciousness doing it. You're doing it to yourself because we're one in that we're the same consciousness. I'm just the reflection for it. But you're doing it. I'm just here in the space. I'm resting as what you are and what you know that you are. It's always here the whole time, no matter what's happening in the experience. It's almost like it's a projection of consciousness out here, mirroring our state of being. But you're always here in your heart center, in your beingness. That's whole and complete, full. It's overflowing with love and joy and peace and completeness and just flowing out into the field. It's a beautiful place to be, to know your true nature, to come back home, to know what you are, to rest as that.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Thank you. You did it all. I didn't do anything. I just was holding the space for you to see it for yourself, to know what you already know. You know this already in your heart. You know what you are. Your intuition knew it the whole time. Your intuition's been doing a great job and it will continue to lead you. All right. Well, I guess I'll end it here and email me anytime if anything comes up. If you have any questions, I'm available for you. I'm happy for you that you know that you are self-realizing, you know where this space is. And watch what happens now. Relax into it. Follow your ease. Marinate in the beingness. Watch how life just takes care of life.
Well, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much love, much joy.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.